Hi everybody, this is Kel from Trade with the Boys. Now with the Dow retest 24,255. Now this number we have been saying multiple times and it's been proven like a gem. Every time the Dow Jones come to this point, the market will always seem to be rebounding from here. Alright, I've seen it a couple of times, I'll show a chart later. But today, I believe that this 24,255 level could be breached. Yes, breached, and probably lead to some selling. I am looking at a potential 1,000 point movement very soon, right? This is Trade with the Boys. Let me go to details first. First of all, we have been buying on a lot of hopes. Yes, Donald Trump has been keep on mentioning that there are very good potential deal between China. But do you realize something very important? China has never once came out and talked about it. As a matter of fact, the Chinese stocks are not doing well the last 5 days. So this is something very, very concerning, because if the markets are to buy on hope, the same reason will come down due to disappointment. And usually disappointment will come in stronger and probably double. All right. The death cross has been seen in the market on S&P. Of course, now the market comes up with something new, another head and shoulder pattern, but that would be talked later. But the death cross is something that you must understand. It has its potential potency here. Now, this is the S&P 500, whereby the blue line is the 200 MA, the red line is the 50-day MA. Now, there was a very significant crossover, whereby when it crossover means that the short term we are looking at some selling, and if this short term persists, it could go into a long term. Alright, this is very dangerous and traders must watch this. I'll show you the chart later on. Now, the death cross have basically started some of the most severe wear in the past century. 1929, 1938, 1974, and 2008. Yes, apparently one of the worst bear markets all has the same indication, which is the death crossover. Okay, but before you go and jump in and start selling everything, now do note it's not always a reliable indicator. Okay, it can fail. It was in 2016 whereby there was some selling, there was a death cross, but it was a false indicator. If you have actually sold off everything in 2016, you'll miss the big bull in 16, 17, 18. Right, you'll miss a very big pool. So do not jump in immediately. All right, just go cool. All right, I'm just sharing things here. Now, of course, undeniable, we can look into the detail now. You can see that this is the MSCI All Countries World Index movement. Okay. Now, what is concerning is this: countries that have a death cross, which means the 50-day MA now is actually trading below the 20-day MA. Right, you can see over the last 20 years, whenever the market, the countries have this death cross indication, the market seemingly sell tremendously. Can you see that? Yes. So each time there's a death cross happening, the market sells. Each time it happens, the market sells. And now we are moving very closely to the high-end level, whereby usually when many countries has this problem, the MSCI whole index actually fall. Now, this is something very unique, and I will share this with you. Okay, watch this here. This is the US Federal Treasury holdings versus S&P. Obviously, the blue line is a Federal Reserve holdings, and the purple line is the S&P movement. Now, watch this. The moment the Fed starts selling, okay, that was early this year. Remember that? Yes, you can see January, February. When the Fed starts selling was in November to February. Remember what happened? Yes, the S&P was moving up while they were selling. But at this point here, when I think probably it came out of the market just went to free fall. Remember that? A big free fall on the February market where the market dropped by 3,000 points. Yes, on the high. Yes. Then after that, it found a base. There were a lot of share buyback scheme, and then the S&P started to go up again. But do you notice that, or do you know that the Federal have been selling and been selling, have been selling? They haven't been stopping while the S&P 500 went up. So now probably the market knows that, hey, someone is selling, and this upside could be really unsustainable. Then there will be probably more downside coming soon. I'm not too sure. But of course, you can have QE4 later, whereby the Federal start to buy in again a lot, and obviously the S&P can go new high. You know, this is all possible. Okay, do not gauge from one side of the story. Now, this is the usual way the S&P move and the world move together back in 2017. You can see that it's very knitted, very closely knitted and stuff like that. But it's only come to May, you can see that the world all countries were indexed, okay, MSCI, excluding US. Basically, the US continue its march upwards, but the world markets had to go down. So which means that everybody is suffering except US. So it's either that US is so strong it doesn't concern anything, or it's just a matter of time US get into some very bad situation. We can't be sure for that, okay? I can't be sure for that. So what's happening now? We look at the market now. Okay, this is our PSV3 on the Dow. This morning, out of the blue, the bear indication came out and the bars turned red. We went through below pivot 2 now, our very important level. So by closing below pivot 2, this M30 chart tells us that there's a good chance the Dow later could be trading towards the 24,235 or even 24,218. This level here around this point could be a very strong and important technical point. If the Dow Jones doesn't hold above it by the end of the day today, Monday morning, we could see severe selling. Okay, I must be upfront here. If the market then hold above it, wow, it can still be a pretty strong buy opportunity if it does that. Okay, so this is Cal from TWB Dow signing off. Hope you had liked this video.